Hi guys, it's Kate and it's VEDA Day 7, and today we're talking about our first childhood home. And I am fortunate enough that my parents still live in the house I grew up in, so I can still go see them. And I live fairly close. I live about a half an hour with no traffic, so I go see them at least once a month, and it's such a great feeling to come back to the place that feels like home. Like, it feels exactly the same, even though my parents redid my bedroom a little bit. I don't need that space, but because I've lived in the rest of the house, so like coming into the kitchen or sitting in the den, like it's still my house. Like, I still feel like I live there, and sometimes it's really hard to leave because I forget that I don't actually live there anymore. But I really loved where I grew up. We were in a little development. I could walk to my elementary school. I walked to my middle school. There were lots of things in the little town, right? Like, we were right by the local food store and a Dunkin' Donuts and a pharmacy, like a Walgreens. There was also another grocery store only like 10 minutes in the other direction, or not even, like 5 minutes in the other direction. For a short period of time, my dance studio was only 5 minutes down the road, and it was just like a really great experience. I'm so spoiled by suburban life. Because Eric grew up in a more rural part of the state. Obviously probably not comparable to rural parts of the country where you have to go really, really far to get into town, but he still had to drive like 20 minutes into town, and it was to the point where you wouldn't go back out once you came home. Like, if you had to run errands, you better do them on your way home from work or school, because once you got home, end of story. You're not going back down the mountain. It's just not happening. So hopefully we can come to a happy medium, because I loved my neighborhood. I loved that I could go outside and there were kids on my street I could play with of all ages. I used to just play with the kids I babysat, so that was like a 5 or 6 year difference. And I could bike ride to my other friend's house. There was always someone in your development. Like, there were different developments in our town, and ours, like, you found the people who lived nearby and you became friends with them. So I really want that experience for my family when I actually have one. And it's just like, we'll see how far we get. Maybe we'll find a compromise where the houses aren't, Eric's problem is the houses are so close to each other, you could wave out the window at each other. So maybe houses further apart, but at least still on the same street and walkable distance. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. I'll see you all tomorrow, and I love your faces. Bye, guys.